Welcome back to Dealing Seconds podcast with your Cards and Beards crew. I'm Chris.
I'm Danny.
Well, first and foremost, I want to apologize to everybody if I sound a little bit deeper. My voice sounds a little bit off. I've been dealing with a sore throat, not COVID, thank God. Just not my usual self, but let my baritone voice soothe the savage beast and, get you into the mood. Yeah, we're going to oldies, going to the jazz 101.1 CBS FM.
It's 10:30 a.m. in here for your daily drive as you smoke your pot and drink your coffee. I don't know any jazz bands, or else I would, take it more. But
I don't even know anything. I have no idea. So I'll try to get to my regular voice, but I apologize to you guys first and foremost. And if you're listening to us,
I'm gonna talk like this just to match you. I'm just gonna be like,
yeah, the whole time. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, thank you for that. You can always watch us over at YouTube. See actually myself and Danny talking. The craziness that is gonna go on.
Yeah, there are some visuals, but you could deal without it. I mean,
yeah,
but you won't see this beautiful mug.
No, I mean honestly, that beautiful mug always. But then anyway, getting back to the topic at hand, I think we want to talk a little bit about Patreon, because lately I've been seeing personally, I don't know about you, Dan, I've been seeing a lot more creators going to Patreon and actually trying to show off, hey, join my Patreon, I'll show you some stuff. Do you think it's worth it for some creators? Do you not think it's worth it? What are your thoughts on Patreon? Being a creator yourself.
I think it's great. I think it's a great tool to have to give those supporters of yours. Does everybody need one? No, not everybody needs one. And why should one do one? Well, full disclosure, I am a Patreon of Daniel Schneider of Black Roses, Luke Wadey of Luke Wadey, Ollie Mealing. Is that Mealing? I always get his last name wrong. For his magic teaching, and then I joined Sean Devine's today. So 2 card creators and 2 magicians who teach. So just full disclosure, who I'm a part of.
And full disclosure for me. Full disclosure for me, guys. I'm actually a part of 2 right now as well. I am Luke Wadey's patron, as well as Sean Devine, starting today. Just because 1 creator, 1 magician. But that's just full disclosure. We're gonna try, myself and Danny, we're gonna try to do our best to be a non-biased opinions about Patreon and what we think are the benefits of it, and maybe what we think are the negatives of it, and maybe maybe we could come to a good decision, a good conclusion after the end of this discussion.
I mean, it really, at the end of the day, before we get into it, is, do the person that is creating the Patreon make it worth your while? Because it is a monthly fee, and guys usually set their prices, and it just, Luke Wade's is kind of high, but what are the benefits? And
True.
Daniel Schneider has all sorts of tiers, and same with the Magic guys. But it all depends on if they're active. What am I paying you for? I like with Luke, I'm sure a couple other creators do. They show you their process, the thought process. Like, hey, I'm doing that. Okay, here's Arrow V2. Well, here's how we get to Arrow V2. Here's my thought process. Or, hey, I'm working on this deck. What do you guys think? And then we go, it's crap. And then he goes, okay. And then we don't see it for 6 months, and then it shows back up again as a Patreon deck or whatever. So,
and he does minor tweaks to it, and he's like, hey, here's my Patreon deck. And you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. But like you said, there are certain creators that will take into account what their patrons are saying, because they've realized, hey, us patrons, we're paying our own money as a subscription service to you, and you're giving us that feedback of giving us the option of being like, hey, we can be helpers in the creation, we can give our own feedback, and hopefully see that in the final product at the end of the day.
Yeah. And, in teases for future projects, or projects they're involved in but aren't the main drive force of it. But yeah, I think let's just talk about the playing card designer, since that's where we're at right now. So I want to see the insights. I want to know why you are doing what you're doing. Obviously you don't want to give away all your secrets and all that, but I want to know, why are we doing grid 4 with an arrow version? and and seeing like that come to life if we're talking about Luke Wadey, you know.
Mm-hmm. No, it makes sense. I mean, with Luke Wadey, using him as the example, he's very good about telling his story about why he created certain things, and he's very good at giving detailed information about how he came up with a specific concept.
Right.
So for me, that's actually a great idea to get into that, like you were saying, get into that mindset of the creator, how they got to a certain point. Granted, there are other creators on there. For example, everybody knows Stockholm 17, Geo, Third Way Industry. There's others as well, just to name a few. But it's just like, okay, I'm not a part of it, so I can't personally say what they offer as their patrons.
Right.
But besides insights, I know with Luke, because that's the only creator I follow, he's like, okay, at certain levels, if you subscribe or become a patron, after 6 months, you get a gift package. After 12 months, you get a gift package. Danny, I think you've been a patron of Luke's for a year now.
Day one.
Since day one. Day
the
one.
Highest tier. Yeah,
the highest tier.
You get every 6 months you get a care package.
Yes.
I think this last year we got the half brick of the he made a Patreon deck based off the grid series.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a custom half brick of that, and a tote bag, and then you get random decks here and there, and then he'll sell Patreon only decks to you too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then after 12 months, he will create you your own deck.
Yeah.
Themed off of one of his previous ones. All of this right here.
Yes. That is the Arrow V2 Danny's version.
Yeah. So it's I told him like basically all his Arrow, green and gold, please. And then
go with
he
it.
sends it to you, and you kind of go back and forth, and then you can buy as many as you want, and that's all he prints. He doesn't print anymore.
I mean, that was one of the reasons why I personally went from. I was part of his second tier because he has 3 tiers. I was in the middle tier for Luke, for a good 6 months, and then I dropped a couple other Patreons, and I said, you know what? Let me go to Luke's top tier. So now I'm actually with you on that top tier. I probably won't see that custom bespoke deck till maybe next year because I just upgraded. But it's just great
it's worth it, man.
I know it's so worth it, and plus it's Luke who's extremely humble, so you're fine. Yeah,
sorry, I'm trying to grab the Patreon decks. I should have been fucking ready.
This is what we do. We're off the cuff here, Dan. You know that. Here we go.
A loud bang, ready?
That wasn't as loud as we thought.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah, here you go. Here's season 1 Patreon deck right there. So cool things like that, and then this one. So
Yeah, and it's honestly
all
great
that for that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's great to see that, people like Luke are doing that for his patrons because he realizes its value to the patrons.
Yeah, and it's unique, and I like it. And I know other creators. I think I'm not a part of it also, but I think Stockholm does maybe not individually created, but he does do a Patreon only deck, right?
Yes, he does Patreon only, from what I know.
And he locks his, right?
Yes, he only has a certain amount of people that he goes with,
which makes sense because he's kind of high in demand kind of guy.
Yeah, very high demand, and so does Geo, Third Way.
Yeah,
they do
same
thing.
I like those 3, Luke, Geo, and Stockholm. Patreon makes perfect sense.
Yes, because they will
they're
tell
all
you.
3. Yeah, they're all 3 very creative guys, and they love their community.
Yes.
So, and the fact that they'll do this and not and create free decks and things like that, I like that. That's the way Patreon works for the good.
It should be, because that way people are getting pluses and receiving things that they normally wouldn't get.
Right.
And getting
you get more interaction with
yes.
with the creator.
Yes, and you get to know the creator on more of a personal level versus just via Instagram or Facebook or social media in general. They actually will respond to you and your messages. Because I know a creator, like for example with Luke, he might post an update on Patreon, and then you might respond to it because he'll ask everybody a question, but he goes and responds to almost every single one of his patrons personally and thanks them, or questions why they thought something, and tries to start a discussion, and that's another good thing.
Right.
But then there are also there's the pluses, but then there's the minuses at the same time. And unfortunately to say, we have some creators and some people, not just in the card community, but across different communities, that go to Patreon just to get money and they barely give people anything.
Right. Now, this isn't one of those guys, but Daniel Schneider, I'm a huge Black Roses fan and a big fan of his. I was at the top tier for almost a year, and then I dropped down to the single because I didn't feel like he was giving enough to warrant the $25 a month or whatever it was. He was giving some and really gave his thoughts on why he redraws every single deck. And that's awesome to hear. But and you get a free deck every 6 months or something like that. But it just wasn't incentive enough for me to keep paying a top tier.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not a bad Patreon. I just wouldn't pay $25 a month for it.
No, and I mean, honestly, I honestly believe you, because there are others that you might only give $5, but even that $5 at a $5 tier, for example, you're not getting anything. So it's like, why is it worth me continuously giving $5?
Yeah, even right. If you're going to do a Patreon, you need to be more active there than anywhere else, because people are individually giving you money straight to you.
Yes.
For your interaction, your insights, and whatnot.
See, I personally think that I would love to see on Patreon, certain creators be like, okay, I'm going to take you through my design process step by step, every single way. I mean, granted, I know, for example, like Jackson Robinson, he does his like early birds. Exactly, like he does those early birds on YouTube, Dawn's Early Light on YouTube, where he has his people, they watch him draw his next upcoming decks, which I think is a great idea. But I think that on Patreon would be even better, because that way you're doing it live, or you're sending videos of you doing these designs. But then at the same time, maybe make it so that you get like, hey, at certain tiers, let's say, you get access to my lives, private lives, where we talk, and as I'm designing the deck, we can change the deck as I'm doing this, But you're doing like,
okay, yeah, kind of like a more in-depth insight.
Yes, and maybe do it more of like, this is the Patreon only deck, or like more of a limited deck for certain people, and it'll be great to see that from certain designers. And I wish that would happen, because I think Jackson started something that I think is really cool. Because granted, Jackson's an amazing artist, and I love watching him draw, because his artwork is amazing.
And it's so effortless.
He just thinks of something and it just flows onto his computer screen. I just don't understand how he does it. But I want to see other people, like, for example, maybe Gio, or going back to Luke again. I would like to see, how does he go his minimalist typographic? Like, how does he choose a certain font style? Why does he choose that font? Why does he decide to make it so big or small? Why does he decide to put certain elements in certain places? Like, those are things I would love to see and ask him as he's doing it, so I could get into his mindset. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No. That'd be interesting. I would definitely be interested in anybody if they wanted to go that in depth on it.
Because that would totally be worth the $30-$40 a month. If they constantly do that, and then you get early access to those decks, and Patreon only
and stuff like that.
Exactly, Patreon only prices. And again, I was gonna say there was other things besides free stuff. I mean, a lot of these creators are giving like discounts on their website.
Yeah. Like I know Daniel Schneider does a running discount, and I do know when Kickstarters come around, he gives you the exclusive stuff. If you're Patreon, he makes sure you get access to that before the public, or at least you're guaranteed at least one of the limited stuff. Like he's doing I probably shouldn't say. Never mind. He's doing something on his next one, and it's interesting, and I like it, but he's going to guarantee the Patreons get it first. Because, honestly, that's how it should be, right?
Oh, no, 100%. 100%. I mean, I know that, like, for example, going back to Luke, he made sure if you're a patron on even the last deck, that if you said, hey, I backed the campaign, you gave him on Patreon, you said, I am backer number, whatever number you are, he makes sure that you get those exclusive things that you're, the limited things that you definitely are supposed to get.
Especially if I'm giving him $40 a month. No.
Yeah, same here. But on the same flip, there are other people who might do that, but then they'll give you discounts on their website, but the discounts are so small. Like, I've seen certain creators give like, and I'm not even joking on this one, I've seen certain creators give 3% discounts on their website. 3%, 5%. And for New York taxes, that does not even cover the tax in New York.
Probably doesn't even cover the shipping. Like, maybe at least give me free shipping.
I wish,
Right.
but yeah, I've seen creators give like 3-5%, even, and I'm not even talking about like at the lower tiers. I'm talking about the higher tiers. You know, like $20 a month, $30 a month, giving 8% off, 5% off.
That's crazy.
It's
like nothing.
Nothing at all. And I'm just like, why is it?
I get more back on that using a credit card.
Seriously, and I'm just like, you know, even there are certain creators that give you such a low discount, but their decks are so pricey on their website regardless. It's like that little 5% doesn't really cover anything, and it's like, oh, come on. It's
see, I'd almost like to see like Art of Play do one, like see how the behind the scenes how do you build your mystery bricks, you know, how do you build those, how do you show me more in depth of your toys and stuff and your puzzles, and you know, more tours for people who can't get down to San Diego and see their studios. And the Cardishucon, that building that they're renting, and like just stuff like that. That would be kind of neat to see. Like, how's your fulfillment work? You know, obviously you can't give away everything, but like
no, but you give
why
out.
do you use bubble mailers?
Yeah,
but you know, but at least you put enough bubble wrap in them.
That is true.
But no, it'd be cool to see like a company like that give it a go.
I mean, you never know. I mean, Dan and Dave, they're always into something, so they might.
Yeah.
They might actually think about doing Patreon.
Like live stream Comic-Con, live stream Cardishucon, because you're not there.
Yeah, for the patrons.
A couple cameras and boom, there you go. You know, just
patrons only.
Yeah.
Patreon only live stream Comic-Con. That would have been, honestly, I bet you so many people would have joined their Patreon for just that experience.
Yeah, that would be neat.
You know, that way you could even get like live stream, talk to whichever guest and do Q&As with them. You know, you get like, let's say at this time you're gonna have Q&A with whichever cardist or whichever creator for 30 minutes, blast out questions. How many people will probably join that? A ton around the world, because still, I mean, COVID is still a thing, and a lot of people don't have the funds to be able to go to Cardishucon every year, especially over the past couple years. You know, so people in Europe might want to be like, hey, let me stay up, watch a live stream, and that would probably cover any expense that you guys might have in like getting equipment or getting setups done or anything like that. And I think
it should be interesting to see.
That would have been awesome.
A company do it like that, you know.
I mean, then again, that would be like a company actually wanting to do something good for the community. Let's like, come on.
They're like, we put on Cardishucon.
That's all you get. That's enough.
Which is fine.
Yeah, we get a ton of sponsors. We just host it. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I think Patreon is a good thing. But then like I said, there were others who are abusing it, and I think there are so many people that maybe do like the $3 tier or $5 tier and probably forget about it.
Yep.
And just let it go, and they never, you know, the creator will never reach out and be like, hey, I'm just getting $5 every month from this person without even thinking twice, and I'm not doing anything.
They don't post for like 3 months.
Not at all. But one I'm actually very excited about is Sean Devine's new Patreon that he just set up. Which
Sean Devine is releasing his new magic book, Beyond Fantasy, or Beyond.
Oh
my God.
We're both.
I didn't freeze. I just don't know.
I'm.
Oh my God.
I'm like trying to.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, we're both looking. My phone's
Get
over
on
there.
my phone. Oh, you don't want to see what I'm looking at on my phone. I'm gonna get in trouble. Sean. Oh, there he is. He's got a cool logo, by the way. Beyond Fantasy. I was right.
You were right. Beyond Fantasies. I mean, because he just created that book.
Yeah.
And he decided to do a Patreon, which I think is the smart way of doing it. Some people are not readers and don't learn via reading. I'm right there with you. Right there with you, Dan.
As I hold up his first book. But again, he's a guy that I think he teaches amazingly. I love the way he teaches. And,
I love it.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I mean, boom, personalized, bro. Suck it. Okay? So of course I had to get the next one. But yeah, I know where you're going. I like what, for those who can't or don't like to learn by reading, he's doing a Patreon. 25 people only?
Yes, 25 people only. It's a year-long course. 1 year, 4 videos a month, so 1 a week basically. And he goes over every single thing that's in his book which I think makes complete sense.
It's
Now
just
this
worth
is what,
it for that.
Oh, and then on top of that, you get an ebook of his first. If you're
Yeah,
signed
you
up
get
for
the ebook of this one.
yes, if you're signed up for for a little while, you get the ebook of that. Then you get all the archives of all the videos he's going to release. You get a signed copy of his book after I think 5 months.
Once you hit your 5 months, then you get a signed copy and the
Yes.
first edition. So it sounds like if he sells out, he's gonna make second editions.
Yes, so be good to get a first edition of that. But besides all that, Sean is an amazing magician who teaches extremely well. I say the two people I think that teach card magic the best are Sean Devine and Alex Pandrea, because they are very meticulous in how they would like to teach it.
I think
As you
Alex
hold up
is
the Bruce
really
Lee
good at shut up. As Alex Pandrea is really good at the sleight of hand moves,
Yes.
right? Sean's really good at teaching you tricks and various ways to do them and things like that. And they're both, the thing I like about them both is they're straight to the point.
Yep.
But Sean over the last year has really raised
Gone.
high for me. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I never heard of him until I think it was maybe Bruce Lee.
From me?
I heard him from you a few months ago, and you were like, hey, check him out, and I was like, oh snap, found him on YouTube, and I've watched all his videos ever since.
Great content. I mean, even teaches you self-working stuff, and then how to make it not so self-working, but also self-working. Like,
yes.
What?
But the best thing is, like, you could take any of the tricks he teaches you, you can take them and actually apply your own spin to them, or maybe add another move or another technique. But he gives you the basics of how it's broken down and just run with it, which I think
he
I
teaches
graded,
you. Okay, here's a trick from the 1900s.
Yep.
Okay, here's how that's done. Here's my spin on it.
Yes.
Now
you
do something else with it. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I have to realize with him is that Sean is a lefty.
Yeah.
So I'm here doing all the sleights, and I'm a right hand dominant, so my grip is on my left hand, but his grip is on his right, and I'm like, so I just have to.
The other thing, spread culling. Culling in general. That's the thing I can't do.
And he just
luckily,
he just did one
week, over the
Yes.
weekend. He released it, so I've been watching that and slowly practicing. Part of my problem is dry hands.
Yeah, same.
So I'm constantly going and then doing it.
Yeah, nobody wants to ever see that ever again, Dan.
But yeah, but he's taught it better for me to understand it than anybody I've seen.
Oh no, 100%. I've been trying to do the culling, but my problem is having big hands and being able to do what he does. It's like, no, even that, I'm just like, no, not gonna happen.
Okay,
but
okay, I'm gonna call this one. Ready? Ooh. I don't know.
Okay. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, let us know in the comments below. Did Dan do a good job?
Rate my call and the worst view ever.
Oh, 100%. Most exposed.
Oh, see, I usually end up doing that.
Just spreading them apart.
But yeah, I'm just gonna. Okay, got it.
Yep, and that's it. But yeah, I mean,
anyway,
culling
sucks.
Culling sucks. Going off topic, but I think Sean is doing a great job. Excuse me.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
He's definitely going to that next level. His content is getting better and better and better. I mean, he even has now. He's doing a series of like 100 forces, and it's broken up into separate videos, and it's like 100 different forces that you could learn. And the best thing is that now it's cataloged on YouTube, so you can always go back and view it and relearn it and be like, okay, this force doesn't work for this move, this trick, so maybe I should do this force. But you now have a library to keep going.
Yeah,
and
great.
And also,
great.
Sean, if you're watching this, or if anybody knows Sean and watching this, please tell him we say hi. Maybe get him on the podcast. The Bruce Lee.
Yes, I would love to chit chat with Sean.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I think Sean would be great to chit chat with. Just sit down
He's
and.
got a beard.
Oh, he does. He does, and he's tattooed, which I like.
I don't have any.
I have many. I'm getting.
I'm gonna get one. I'm working on it. I got to find someone local to do it.
Off topic, but if you're gonna do it, make sure it's in the meaty part of your body.
Oh, it's not gonna.
If it's a finger, it's gonna hurt.
Yep.
FYI, finger tattoos fade very quickly, so you have to constantly get them retouched.
That's fine with me.
I had this retouch after 4 months because it was my tattoo artist didn't really go deep, and shit hurts like a motherfucker.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
It's addicting though. It is addicting.
I just want to be like Chris Ramsey.
That's me. Yeah, got the 5 of clubs. But yeah, I think Sean's going back to Patreon. I think Sean's doing the right thing. That it's a whole year course. My thing is it going to be just a year, or is he willing to extend it past the year? Maybe do a second course, and maybe say, hey, the people that have been with me, offer them a discount for the next year.
I don't know. He'll probably see how this goes, but I mean, I prefer it this way, paying it monthly, than paying somebody $300 to $250 up front. David Blaine. But yeah, I'm okay with it. It goes a year, and if it's successful, maybe he'll do something else after that.
Yeah, I hope so, because I think he can do a lot of things with this, and just having the effect, having the ability to basically after a year go back and see all those moves and all the tricks, and just keep them as a catalog, is amazing.
And go along with the literature.
Yeah. I mean, what would be awesome if he actually, or if he did, and this isn't me just shooting from the hip, is more like, hey, maybe the next tier, if he decides to do it, maybe, hey, once a month, get a 30-minute or 45-minute live call with me, and we go over anything you want to go over.
He would hang up on me halfway through the first time. So I'd be like, all I want is you to teach me how to call. And he'd be like, dude, nuh-uh. Click. Here's your money back.
Wow. No, but I think
I'd just be constantly going.
All you need, Dan, is to get a little jar with water and paper towel and just dip your fingers in it and just do that the whole time. Or moisturize your hands.
But no.
I mean,
I do, but my hands suck up whatever I put on them.
Yes, that's what she said.
So, yeah, I haven't found something that will sustain longer than 2 or 3 minutes.
Jesus Christ. You might
Which
need,
I know to some of you is a very long time.
Even more than 2 minutes, that's a long period of time.
Jesus.
I know. We go off topic so well.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Yeah. But again, going back to Patreon, I mean, there are, like we were just saying, there are pluses and minuses to Patreon. And I think, whether you choose to become a patron, if you can afford it, of course, it's not a free thing. So if you can afford it, great. I just hope more and more creators get on Patreon and actually do something for the patrons.
Good tool.
Yes, and get more. I think it's a great tool for inside community insight. Get some information.
It's OnlyFans, but not R-rated.
There are R-rated Patreons.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Patreon. It's a good avenue to explore.
Yes.
And look into.
Yes, very good avenue. Well, Dan, while we're on the subject of cards and whatnot, we haven't done this in a while. We have to do a deck check. I mean, granted, we have the Cards and Beards Casino.
Cards and Beards Casino playing cards live right now on Kickstarter. Links below or in the show notes.
Links.
Right? Is that what you say? Show notes? Is that the term? Is that what the hip kids say these days?
Links to our Kickstarter campaign will be in the description below, along with everything else that we have. FYI, in our description below, you have all our handles, our merch shop, Kickstarter campaign. You guys could also leave us a comment on what you guys like so far about the show. What Patreons are you part of? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. We try to respond to every single comment. Yes. Within the first day or so, we will respond. That's I think my personal goal with YouTube is I try to respond immediately to anybody who takes the time to actually like and comment. I will make sure I like your comment and I will respond to your comment.
Yes, and while you're there, like, share, and subscribe. Smash that like button.
Another thing, do all the things that make you go ding. Yeah, I tried. That's what she said.
Right.
Yeah, we're going.
Anyway, you were saying deck check?
Deck check time. Besides the Cards and Beards deck check, what are you using today, Dan?
Oh, well, I'm using the greatest deck ever created, and that is the Bruce Lee deck.
Be like water.
It is the greatest deck of all time. I mean, look at that back design. The back design's great, guys. Come on, everybody hates on this thing. That's why it's the greatest deck of all time, because everybody has an opinion on it.
I don't own one.
I've got some. Hey, I heard this guy Joey Bravo in our community has a ton.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Oh, so he's a friend of mine, and
I know who you're talking about. I'm joking.
Oh, well, okay then.
Oh, okay. You can tell
Bruce Lee.
For those of us who don't know who Joey Bravo is.
Joey Bravo is just a guy in the community, really cool dude, And Darren Lee is good friends with him as well, and they save their packages the last half of the year and open them after Christmas or something. It's a great live. It's cool to see what they all get. And last year, Darren had a bunch of people send him a bunch of Bruce Lee decks and sent it to Joey Bravo, and he opened them. So he's got over a brick now because he hates the damn things. Hates them. So it's just funny. Why do I have this now? For some reason, it was on my desk, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to use it.
See, and for me, it is, I'm actually using as you're still trying to do top shots.
I did, okay? I caught it, see?
You did. And
anyway, what are you using?
Anyway, me personally, I am actually only using the silver Riderbacks bicycles, just because I have literally a brick of bicycles right on my coffee table, and this has been I've beater deck. I'm currently learning how to do the one-handed riffle shuffle, slow and steady.
You mean like this? That's all I can do. My hands cannot. You can probably do it, no problem. You can probably do it 3.
I could get some. When I'm trying to do it on camera, it doesn't work.
Can't do it. That's how it goes, man.
But then when I do it, if I'm doing it off camera, I can do it. Like I've done it already twice. I'm just like,
yeah. Performance anxiety.
I have that a lot. Yeah. Okay, back to cards.
Yeah.
Back to cards.
I get it. I can do 2 moves perfectly on camera, no problem. But other than that, I can't.
Yeah. It just happens. It just honestly just happens. Besides Patreon, Dan, I mean, recently we've had a couple things that have dropped or releases that have happened. One big name in the community, 3011. They have recently dropped their Star Wars gold foiled pre-order, not sale, but pre-orders. I personally got one.
Well, I mean, I have the other 4, so why not? And if it's the same gold as the artisan from the Target exclusive gold one, then yeah, if you're a fan of 3011, why wouldn't you get it?
True. I only have their red and blue. I don't have the white and black version yet. But I did pre-order the gold.
Yeah.
They did decide to make it a little bit more expensive. It is now $15.
It's about time they raised their prices.
And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it because it's still $15, fully custom deck, amazing tuck. As we all know, you get the best tucks in the business. Fully foiled, gold foiled deck for $15.
Yeah.
And with Theory 11, you know it's going to be good quality. It's going to be a deck that you can actually use and not just like look at. I fear that they're just going to use the same artwork over and over again.
Oh, they will. And if they are, whatever. Theory 11, I'm looking right at you. Give me a damn green Star Wars deck if you're going to do this. Okay? It's the best. You gave us a blue one where Luke's father killed all them kids. Why can't we get a green one?
And that's Luke's saber.
There you go. Sure.
Luke's saber is green.
Yes, and I mean, Return of the Jedi. It was awesome. He came off,
Okay. This is what happens, guys. This is what happens when we record a podcast at
without a plan.
That's one. That's one thing.
We had a plan.
We did. We actually did. But when it's late at night, well, for me anyway, and Dan's out of work and wrangling his kids and trying to the whole nine.
Yeah.
This is what happens later at night. Just so you guys know.
So anyway, Theory 11 pre-order for the Star Wars comes out in June-ish, so it's not too bad.
Yeah,
right?
they're saying like 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
I'm okay with it.
Is it
I
June or
pre-ordered
July?
everything else for them, so
Yeah.
June, July, whatever. It's right around the corner.
But honestly, with T11, it's more like, hey, you're getting a good deck of cards.
Yeah, you know, while we're talking about T11, I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Let's see. The Beatles.
Do you remember the Beatles decks? In
Yes.
This beautiful, beautiful foiled case.
I do.
Okay. Look at that. The magnets come off. They're glued on there, and they came off.
Ooh.
A little annoyed. But still pretty.
I mean, pretty, but that's just...
Yeah. Little annoyed on that with the money you spent on it, you know?
Yeah, that's no bueno.
I mean, I was never meant to keep this locked up and not on display, but you know,
It happens, but still, that should not happen.
Anyway, there you go. That was the last thing I bought from them.
No, I mean, the last thing I bought from them besides the new Star Wars was the Harry Potter set.
Harry Potter set. I didn't even get the Yellow Submarine Beatles deck yet.
Ah, really? I'm not a Beatles fan, so
Yes.
I know you are.
Yes. You know, I haven't done a Beatle video on my videos yet.
No, you haven't. You've done mostly country.
Yes, and Bowling for Soup. Pop punk. If you didn't know that.
I did.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, and then the other thing that happened over the weekend was Fontaine released their first round of fantasies online.
Yes, the Fontaine Fantasies.
Was it like 11 decks? Is your possibility?
11 decks every week in May. Every weekend in May, they're doing a drop.
I think that's how it's going to work. I haven't seen him confirm, though I also don't follow him. So
I think it's every week in May, but it's just like everything got sold out so fast.
Oh, yep, you're right. Each weekend in May. A
Yep.
new release window will open because there's so many. He hasn't bagged them all yet.
Nope.
And it'll help ease it because 11 decks. That's a lot.
It is a lot. I didn't buy any.
Nor did I.
I mean, Dan, you're also, excuse me, you're not the biggest Fontaine fan.
I am not the biggest Fontaine fan, but these things like the Futures, the Fever Dreams, and these, I love them. They're not collaborations, and they are very unique.
They are.
So if you're in the card community, you know all about them. If you missed your drop, you have 3 more chances. Looks like he's giving discounts on 2 bricks and 4 bricks, so that's the first. They look cool. I might try to get a couple.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try because I'm not a Fontaine fan.
Right.
Granted, they're not even on individual decks. They're not expensive. I think they're what, $15?
$15.
Yeah, $15 individually. I'm not the biggest Fontaine fan. I'm not going to spend my money on it.
Right.
That's just me. But again,
that's okay.
And that's okay. But if you're, I know there are other things.
There are other things you could buy.
I'm never buying a Bruce Lee deck ever, ever. If I get gifted one, it is going to be like water.
Fine. There are other things you could buy.
Yes. There we go. Now that's a deck. Okay. There are many other things. But yeah, I think what Zach did with that drop was amazing. Amazing artwork as far as like his whole trailers and everything. The claymation, the stop motion claymation that he did, was perfect. I thought it was great. He built a good hype for it. And to show that he could do stuff outside collabs, outside the colors that he's done, I like it. With the Fever Dreams and this, I like it. If he continues down this route, I think this should be the new way for Fontaine.
Well, I'm going to assume CardShireCon's got something similar coming. Maybe not 11 or 12 decks. Maybe something along the lines of Futures. I know. We all know he's probably collabing with Dan and Dave.
I mean, I don't doubt it.
Kind of a no-brainer at this point.
Yeah, I don't doubt it at that point.
Not that either of those brands need each other.
Oh my God, those two brands together are
Smoke
just.
Amir Fontaine.
Now you know what? I wouldn't put it past Dan and Dave. I wouldn't put it past them. And
they did the any ones, right?
They
the
did
anyone smoke and mirrors.
And
so
the Lotus in Hand did it. Anyone did it. Mm-hmm. Fontaine is next. Honestly, I think Fontaine logically makes sense as another cardistry focused deck creator.
And the one that makes the most sense to me for Art of Play to do a smoke and mirror collab with is Orbit.
Yes.
They're both cardistry. They both know each other.
Yes.
It just seems
should be natural.
At some point in life, there would be a smoke and mirror Orbit deck.
That would honestly, and knowing.
But the problem is, Chris probably wouldn't let it be very limited.
That's what I was going to say, because Chris is about giving it to the people, and he's about printing a shit ton of decks, making sure everybody has a chance to get it. And honestly, Chris Brown is one of those very few creators that it's like, listen, I'm going to make a shit ton of decks. I'm not going to overprice it. I'm going to make sure anybody can get it.
Yep, and even his limited ones are, what, 5,000? So, I mean, you still have a chance.
You still have a chance. Yeah. I mean, his non-limited ones are, what, like 25,000 now?
I don't even remember.
I mean, with the web press, he's doing a shit ton of decks. So,
Cardistry Con V1, there was only 1,000.
But remember, that was how many years ago?
3.
Granted, 3 years ago.
Yeah, 1,000 decks of these, and then a bunch with no.
But that was the reprint. That was the reprint of the V1s.
Which I'm a little sad we're not doing the reprint of the V2 for this year. I don't
even have the V1, so.
Oh, I do.
I know you do. You have all of them.
Yes, I do.
I know. I know. We've seen. Anybody who's on Instagram has seen your Orbit collection.
I don't do it to flex, okay? I do it because it's awesome.
No, it's not even a flex. That's freaking awesome collection. It's a great collection to have. And Chris is one of those very few people that you should collect if you can. I mean, right now his V1s are going for $200+ now.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Easy.
And, if you ever get a chance to meet him and pick his brain, he's a cool guy to talk to.
I mean, it would be great to get him on the podcast. I mean, maybe one day.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it.
I doubt it, but hey, you never know. Shoot for the stars. You'll hit something.
Shoot for the stars, and you'll land in the dirt.
True.
I don't.
You try.
To be philosophical.
Confucius say, as you're playing with the, Bruce Lee deck, Confucius say, be like water.
Here, I'm going to shuffle. We're going to read a random quote from the Bruce Lee deck. Here we go.
And this will probably be the end of our podcast then. We're going to end on the Bruce Lee quote.
Oh, perfect. Success means doing something sincerely and wholeheartedly.
Look at that.
Nice.
That was
beautiful.
That was touching. I feel touched here.
Hey. There's lines we don't cross here.
True.
Well, yeah, I think that's a good way to kind of end that before this goes. This is going somewhere. Yeah. We might get banned.
We might. But on another note, guys, if you're watching this or hearing us on either YouTube or Spotify, first, hi. Second of all, stay tuned. We have some awesome things about to happen. With one, the Kickstarter campaign for the Cards and Beards deck.
Cards and Beards. Sorry, I don't have it near me. It's in my car.
I have it here with me at all times. That, and then we also have some awesome new guests lined up. So that's going to be happening as well. I mean, Dan's stretching it out. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, we're not going to say who it is. You have to go over to YouTube and see the deck right now to see who's going to be our next guest. You might want to stay for this one. You might want to look at YouTube, and you might want to see who our next guest is.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited. That's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be just us shooting the shit like we always do.
Yes, sir.
But on that note, guys, we out.
When one is not expressing himself, he is not free. We go.